Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and wearing her magic underwear is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
Yeah, Mormon garments, super fun. They recently changed them.
Is that a thing?
The garments? Yeah, it's a total thing.
The magic underwear is a real thing?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I mean, they just look like long johns.
They kind of are. They've changed them recently. So
Modesty
the
long johns.
Yeah, they're modesty garments, and they're supposed to cover the important bits, like shoulders.
Underwear that covers shoulders?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's like a vest.
Perhaps a little bit of context is needed for the episode.
Yeah.
Well, we're back for starters. Hello.
Yes.
We've been gone for a while because we went off and, are doing a whole other two other podcasts technically.
Yeah, well.
But we didn't have time for the movies and we said we'd try and come back. It took way longer than expected.
We just were kind of burnt out on movies.
We were just busy.
Yeah.
Largely just busy. But we are going to do something a little bit new this week. But to explain it, I need to explain that we suck. Because about a week after we first posted the first episode of our new podcast, Death Rants, a Metalocalypse podcast, I was like, hey, I'll go on to Instagram to promote it because I never fucking do. I never go near Instagram. And I went on and there was a private message there from a listener who had requested that we do a movie for their upcoming birthday. We had just missed it.
So this is for their next birthday?
So yeah, very, very late birthday / early Christmas or next birthday. But so finally, here is Heretic for Nicole, who is a huge Hugh Grant fan.
Okay.
So sorry about the delay.
She's not going to like me after this.
She didn't say that she loved the film. She just really, really, really requested that we did it.
Okay.
But no, look, spoilers, but I enjoyed it, but I had my issues.
I watched it the first time, got bored and wandered off the second time, fell asleep the third time.
Yeah, that was part of the problem. But yeah, no, so 2024 is...
Because literally the second time I got bored and wandered off.
That's because you really had problems with the second half of the film.
I really do. And once it hits that point, my brain switches off and I'm like, out of here.
But let's get there first. Because today we are doing Heretic.
Yes.
The A24 film from 2024.
Yeah, which is the only A24 film we've seen, I believe.
Yeah, certainly the only one we've done for the podcast and probably the only one we've seen.
I think it's the only one we've watched, yeah.
I was marginally impressed. It probably wasn't the best place to start with the A24 films.
No.
But look, I'm going to do a summary and then we'll get into it. Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton are Mormons on their mission, and they think they found an ideal convert in Mr. Reed. He's polite, well-read, knowledgeable, and spiritually inclined. The only problem is, as they chat, the girls begin to fear he won't let them leave until their theological conversation concludes the way he wants.
Yeah. He's a little bit more heavy-handed than Richard Dawson.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely takes it to more extremes.
Yeah.
But I like it. I'm gonna put it out there. I like it. The ending very much lets the film down, but I think the start of it is so strong.
The conversation is interesting.
It's the best part about the film.
Yeah.
It is the best, and probably largely what we will spend most of the time discussing today. So we'll talk a little bit about the characters first, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you've got two Mormons who I quite like how they're characterized in this. I like that you've got
Blondie is very bubbly.
Paxton.
Yeah.
She's very, very naive, but what I like about her is though she's incredibly naive, she's also the one who's kind of more
open,
more confident and more honest about her faith.
Yeah.
She's the one who's quite willing to say, oh yeah, look, polygamy is kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Whereas Paxton is less naive, but almost has a much more dogmatic approach to her belief. And she's trying to justify the whole polygamy thing through
message of God,
this
whatnot.
reasoning and then that reasoning. Whereas Paxton's just nah, it's kind of sus.
Yeah. So
I like that they're not just kind of completely one note of we've got this one naive one and then we've got this other one who kind of came into it later in life and wasn't born into it. And also I like that you've got that mix between the two. You've got a convert and somebody born into it.
And not necessarily a later in life convert, somebody who was brought into it because their mother converted so they were quite young.
Yeah, well, we don't know specifically what age she was when her father passed and they started looking around churches. It's not mentioned at all, but yeah, she's still not an adult anyway.
Older in life, yeah.
And then obviously you've got Hugh Grant as Mr. Reed.
Yeah.
Being our other main character, who is... I really enjoyed him.
I like Mr. Reed until
yeah, he loses us.
Actions.
He loses us at the end as well.
Yeah.
But I like.
Well, you pinpointed the exact moment where it loses me. You were like, "This is why you don't like this," and what you wanted was sourcing.
Yeah, well, I was kind of the same, but I like that he is. The start is he's your typical kind of Hugh Grant character. He's just disarmingly charming and
yes. Would never be found in an alleyway with a prostitute.
But, manages to put them at ease several times before the actual turn happens, you know what I mean? In terms of, like, the first thing about the wife and whether or not he has a girl roommate, as they put it. I don't know if it's that he doesn't fully sell the ending, or the film doesn't fully sell the ending, because even in the kind of the middle bit, the turn, where it's clear that he does have ill intentions towards the girls, but he's still debating with them. Yeah. That stuff's still great as well. Yeah. It's really only that last bit where it's like, oh, look, your whole argument's falling apart. And they are our three main characters. The prophets don't count. And
there's the elder who's just there
I always forget it's
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, he's only in it for a hot second, like you said, but I always forget it's him. It's like, oh yeah, it's Topher Grace.
Still less disappointing than Predators.
Oh god, yeah. Jesus Christ. We haven't done that, have we?
No.
The only time Predators showing up has been for AVP films.
Yeah, because we watched all of them and you were like, God, they just get worse and worse. And then we got to Prey, which was good.
Prey's good. Predators was shit. The Predator was shit. So but anyway, back to this film. Those are our characters. They're largely the same throughout the film. I'd say Paxton probably goes through the most.
Yeah, well, she's kind of the one who's
the most
being
growth.
targeted.
Ultimately she is the one who's being targeted, and I kind of have an issue with that too.
Yeah.
So I suppose we move on to the plot side of things.
Yes.
This is going to be full spoilers. It's the only way we're going to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I really love the argument at the start. Well, the conversation
two girls,
at the start.
So the Mormon missionaries are out doing their thing and knocking on doors, bothering people to join them because Joseph Smith, yada yada yada. If you need a brief history of the Mormons, South Park. Yeah. Personally, I find the Mormon faith fascinating because it just seems to be full of contradictions and the lengths of loopholes.
I find it
soaking and things like that. I find it like that's how, and I was like, this can't be real. And then there's also the whole Twilight crossover thing where you get like a lot of the imagery that Mormonism uses.
I just find it fascinating because I've only met one or two Mormons, but when you think about like the South Park, kind of how they portray them, and even how they're kind of portrayed here, it largely just is, particularly in that first South Park episode where they're explaining the Mormon history and the Mormon family in that episode are just nice, loving people.
Yeah.
Who just want the best for themselves and the people around them.
Yeah.
And that's largely how it comes off.
That is largely the majority of people who are within the Mormon faith. And it is. There are some really weird things, like they can't have caffeine and shit like that, so they all drink soda.
I didn't know about the woman thing until this film, actually.
Oh, they're
having another woman present.
It's all, there's a lot of control over women and how they move about and things like that, which is when you get into things like the FLDS and it gets weird and creepy and the various sects. Every religion has its weird.
Yeah, every religion has its extremists.
Mormonism has more than its fair share. So does the Catholic Church. So the majority of people just seem to be like, it is basically live your life, be a good person. The same as everything else.
Are there Catholic extremists, or is it just priests touching little kids?
No, you do get things like the Opus Dei and stuff, who are very like secular.
Yeah, you don't hear about many Catholic cults.
Yeah. No, they tend, they all tend to be like offshoots of Protestantism when you think about like...
I also don't hear about many European cults, in
fairness. I'm trying to work out, like I was backtracing the Branch Davidians there for a second, and they're like Seventh-day Adventists.
It's always largely like...
Evangelicals.
Yeah. Like,
it's a US thing, it's like the Rapture.
It's
not, like the Rapture,
You don't really hear about many European cults, not anymore anyway.
No.
Share.
There's a fair few Asian ones.
I wonder are any of them weird. Catholic based?
They are. I think there's a Korean one.
Anyway, getting distracted.
Yeah, cults. Fascinating.
Yeah.
But
even the way it starts with the conversation about the porn.
Yeah.
The pornography.
Yeah.
But that
The pornography.
I can't remember the actress's name.
It's
but
so
your one who plays Paxton, the way she sells that scene is so good.
But that's all. So one of the issues I have with those type of religions is when you mystify things to that point, you get people doing things like having sex in the ear, like.
But just that conversation
just
sets a lot.
Straight up educating them instead of them having to go and find things out and like them having to have these insane conversations as adults. Whereas for us, that would be something you would have said when you were like 14 to your mates and had somebody be like, no, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Because we received proper education. But it is very telling of the environment they grew up in.
The thing that I really like about that conversation is that when she gets to it, she's like, it just kind of shows you that, what if you're told growing up that the Book of Mormon is all fake, you're going to believe it.
Yeah.
But not considering the flip side of that coin at all there of, well, what if you're growing up told the Book of Mormon is real your whole life? And obviously that's what Mr. Reed gets to towards the end.
Yeah, well, he kind of tips off it with the whole fallibility of man thing when he's talking about if it's supposed to be the word of God diluted through man who can lie and cheat and steal. How do we know it's the word of God, which is the crux of the Quran? The Quran is unedited and untranslated so as to preserve the word, because in their view the Bible has been translated so many times, and like even my copy of it that I have in there has the alternative text.
But you still have to make the leap of faith there
to do that.
That this one now is the one true word of God because I believe that this prophet is telling me the truth, as opposed to that prophet who had it filtered through.
See me.
No, but it still requires that leap. Like, there's no way to say that. Oh yeah, this is the one true.
Yeah.
Like, it's what he's saying there. Like, any revelation filtered through any man requires belief, because you have to believe that he's telling you that God did speak to him, and not just I'm telling you that God spoke to me.
Yeah, I follow the gourd.
Yeah. That I think is one of my more favourite parts of it, is before the kind of turn happens, when he's just
questioning them,
kind of questioning with them. Yeah, the stuff around the polygamy is good, and then the fast food analogy.
Yeah, and that is trying to find a one-fits-all religion.
I'm surprised he doesn't call her on her reincarnation notions, though. When she goes like, when I die I want to come back as a butterfly and land on the fingers of the people that I love. And I'm like, Mormons don't believe in reincarnation.
I don't know enough about it to know if they do have reincarnation, actually. I have looked into that.
I don't think any Christian denomination has reincarnation. Except for, well, no, not even Jesus, because he comes back as himself. Yeah. That's not reincarnation if you come back as the same thing. So, no, there's no Christian. You're the theologian here. Come on, surely
I know. But, I'm sorry, I'm more into the demonology side of shit. Instead of humans thinking they might come back at the end of days. So, considering that they also have the 140... No, those Jehovah's Witnesses have the 144,000 thing, so the recruiting never made sense to me.
Yeah, I still don't get that.
The Mormon, one of the things I think that annoys me the most about Mormonism is the mission and the call to convert, and her being pissed that she's only, she hasn't had a single baptism yet. And it very much gave me, back in the day when MySpace was taking off and overheard in the arts block, I only made one friend today.
Missionaries are one of those things where it's like, it really all depends on how you interact with people. Yeah. If you're doing the thing that he says at the end about going into places after disasters with, disaster relief in one hand and a Bible in the other hand, that's shitty missionary stuff. When you're doing it the kind of, I suppose the way a lot of them do, or a lot of Hare Krishnas do, where it's just hey, do you want to talk about this thing? Yeah. No. All right, cool. When you leave it at that, fine. Do you want to talk about my religion? Yeah. No, I don't. All right, cool. See you later. And occasionally I might say yes, but largely I'm going to say no. That's fine.
It depends on how much time I have. I'll talk to you for a minute.
I generally have time for the Harrys as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, always got time for the Harrys.
But I think it largely depends on how you approach your missionary actions. Yeah. But yeah, when the conversation moves then into the back room and gets more serious.
Yes. And when he starts whipping out the Monopoly.
I like that initially, because I'm like, okay, cool. I get what he's saying here. He's got Monopoly, and then he's got the Landlord's Game, and I knew about the Landlord's Game, so I was immediately I see where he's going here. And I like that he calls Mormonism the zany regional edition with the Bob Ross Monopoly. Yeah. And then he talks about the Hollies and Radiohead and Lana Del Rey, and then moves on to the big thing after.
Yeah, that every religion does.
Well, it's after the kind of he reveals the door choice to them and the fact that there is no wife. He's like, we're going to go back and talk about iterations because all of these myths, the Quran and the Bible and the Torah and the Book of Mormon, are all iterations of an older truth. And that was where we were both like, Ooh.
Where you going?
Yeah, where you going with this? Because I like this shit.
Because I got books on this stuff.
Yeah, like we love us some, Joseph Campbell monomyth, Hero with a Thousand Faces. Like we know that we've just been telling the same couple of stories over and over and over again. Yeah. And I was like, cool. This is, I like this now. Where's he going?
Especially, I'm always happy for a Mithras reference.
Yeah, but I love...
I was like, Horus, interesting choice. Osiris, more suitable.
Don't think they were all born on the... Mithras definitely did have the 25th.
Yeah, because Jesus most likely, given cultural studies that are known, would have probably been born in September.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Christianity liked to supplant itself on top of already existing pagan
as Irish people were very aware of that. Halloween.
When he starts talking about that, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I thought he was going to go into that whole thing about, like, the way Yahweh is considered to be part of an older pantheon that has just been kind of, like, forgotten about.
Yeah, he was like a thunder god.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, can we? Because some of the Sumerian pantheons, super interesting. He had an opportunity to go into a Nocturne and the failure that was Armana.
Of the first attempt at monotheism.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not first.
But within a major civilization that we saw where it was trying to be a dynamic shift in a religious culture.
He doesn't actually mention the monomyth there, which I thought was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Because that's like, we tell ourselves stories. We have always told ourselves stories. Yeah. And when he's talking about that, when he's
history, mythology, and religion are all so closely linked, and they're how we teach ourselves about ourselves.
Yeah, myths were how we understood ourselves back in the day. So
myths and religions are the same thing. We've just classified them.
When he starts talking about iterations of an older truth specifically, and like a source that has been diluted down, I was like, cool. So when he says one true religion, has he found some like super ancient religion? Like, are we going to get some cool, like, weird primordial, like, sort of horror here?
Is it going to come out of somewhere like Ethiopia, because we know that is the cradle of civilization? Or
is it going to be some like super ancient,
something like pre-Phoenician, Babylonian?
Yeah, or just like I said, just some, it can even be from a civilization we've never heard of, but just some sort of primordial religion. And then the girls go down into the basement, and this gnarled-looking woman appears and folds herself in a weird way. Yeah. And then eats a pie and dies. And
well, it's a proper, like, sort of supplication
pose. Yeah. He starts talking about, like, how they're going to witness a miracle and they're in the presence of a true prophet of God.
Honest to God, at the start, before he revealed what he'd given them, thought it was ergot poisoning because of the contortion and the speaking in tongues. And that's more commonly known now to be like witchcraft. But no, he used the other two.
Which, what?
Belladonna.
Oh, yeah.
And Aconite.
Yeah, so she dies and she comes back to life, and I was like, okay, cool. He starts talking about them crossing over, and I was still like, okay, cool. And even when she's like, oh, here's how, that's the bit where, you're going to convince us to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And it's really around the point where he kills Barnes that it starts to lose me, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not until the full final reveal where it starts
to lose me. Because you're like, oh, he's crazy.
Yeah, because when he starts talking all about, like, simulation theory and stuff, it's like, okay, this is a turn, and now he's acting as if he believes in it.
Yeah.
And it is a turn, and it's a turn that he gets called on. But then, like, after all this talk of...
we're going somewhere, and you could have stayed, but instead you've decided...
that we live in a simulation suddenly?
Yeah, but we don't have to live in a simulation, because the real world is far scarier than anything a simulation could come up with.
But even...
I was like, are you going to start practicing ancient rituals that you've come across? That you believe, like, you can consume the spirit of the dead person or commune? Like, have you discovered that these women come back with messages? Like some sort of fucking, whatchamacallit, the girls who got high off the volcanic stuff. The Pythia.
The Pythia,
yeah. Is it that?
That's where I thought it was going.
No, instead you went into some sort of fucking pseudo.
No, but like even if we grant him what Sister Paxton says, that he's ad-libbing there,
Yeah.
And he's going on the fly. And it was never his plan to talk about simulation theory at all. And it was always just his plan to talk about control. And I happen to think that the simulation plan thing wasn't actually him ad-libbing, but I'll get onto that a bit later. I thought the whole thing was going to go after everything he had said about iterations and sources and one true religions
I was full on expecting animal skulls and shit like that.
I was fully
like
expecting her to have actually come back from the dead. And
reversion to some sort of earlier, I hate the word primitive type religion or worship.
But yeah, that there's something so far back that like he had found that actually does actually tap into something supernatural. And I thought, when she comes back from the dead, she was actually going to have come back from the dead, and he actually was going to, and we were going to go from a theological debate horror into an actual supernatural.
Because that's the thing
proof
as well,
of life
is
after
that
death.
Because belladonna in mild doses is used as a hallucinogen. So when I was like, oh, she didn't die. Also, wolfsbane aconite is a neurotoxin, so that's going to fuck you up too. So I was like, oh, maybe she just didn't die. She just like passed out and had like
Visions.
A vision. But like all good visions, they're drug induced.
No, I guess that's what I was hoping. But like I was kind of hoping that she actually had died.
Yeah.
And had found some way to come back to life, and that the horror was then going to be contained in that of like, well,
she's in a loop or something.
Should we really go to the other side just because we can, just to get proof?
It's kind of like Sliders.
Or Flatliners.
Sorry, that's what I meant, Flatliners.
Yeah, like that we'd go into some weird kind of horror version of more horror version of Flatliners.
Where you've when is a door not a door.
And that it might all be around just
because you can start bringing in all sorts of like really eldritch horror elements into that as well, into what happens to the brain, and like if you believe that the soul is seated within the body, does the soul leave and come back? Is that going to start to cause damage? Are you going to be able to disconnect? You can start getting into things like, whatchamacallit, when they fucking astral projection and crap like that, where you can start getting into all this, like, well, the body really is just a vessel. And then we can barrel our way towards ascension.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was leading to an actual supernatural thing, but then instead, what we actually get is it's just him. It's just his plan, his ridiculously insane and complicated plan that I can't believe worked.
The thing that man has done with religion since its fucking iteration.
Oh, its first iteration. But even then, I was it was when he said when she revealed that, and it was like, oh yeah, it's all about control. I was like, really? Really? That was your fucking deep understanding? It was all about control. The reason every man has ever started a cult. That was his deep revelation.
Yeah.
It's
all about control. Big whoop. I could have told you that.
Aside from the fact that he's fucking wrong, because he's saying the further back you go, the closer you get to the truth. And when you get to the truth of religion, it's just about control. The further back you go, the more we have is myths. And as we've already said, myths are ways for us to explain ourselves to ourselves. What is really about control is when those myths become institutionalized. When you have institutions to push those religions, that's when it becomes about control. When it's just myths we tell ourselves, when it's just stories we tell ourselves in the dark at night to keep ourselves like, comfortable so that we understand how the world works around us because it's scary and big. Those are myths that we use to explain things.
An example of it is there are there's at least two creation myths. Read the first. Genesis.
But
there's story after story after story because they were all important enough to include. You have the world was made in 7 days, but then you have the world was made all at once. You have man and woman were created equal, and then the more famous Adam and Eve story, which was pushed.
They're all stories. Myths.
Yeah, they're all myths. They're how we explained how we got here.
And
they give us comfort at night.
It's not until you start to codify your myths that you start to get things like Leviticus, where you lay down rules which are about control. So it's not until you start to codify and institutionalize that it becomes about control.
There's at some point between Judaism and the onset of Christianity and those type of religions.
Yeah.
Judaism doesn't really call for belief. You just have to practice. You don't have to believe in it, but you have to practice and live by the laws. So it's not until you get to Christianity where it's like you have to believe.
Well, I think there is some element of belief in early Judaism as well.
In early Judaism, but it was more about practicing the laws and things like that and living your life like this to show it, as opposed to being like, oh, well, I believe in it so passionately and then going around and being a shithead.
Yeah.
But being like, oh, my belief in God will save me.
Yeah, and I really just think that it kind of because his whole argument is, yeah, look, religions are about control. And all religions are about control and getting you to think that you're making your own choices.
Yeah, it's how you control the masses.
Yes. No shit, Sherlock. But his
argument, wars that have been waged in the name of religion.
His argument to get him to that point, I find, is inherently like wrong, because he's saying like the further back you go, the closer you get to like the source and the truth. But the further back you go, no. The further back you go, it's not about control.
No.
Well, to a point. And then once you go back past that point, it's just those myths that we were talking about. And I kind of thought that like because that's how I view it, that like I thought what he was saying is the further back you go, the closer you get to a source. I thought he was going to be saying, well, all these myths, Horus and Mithras, all have a similar
common
reason
source,
because they all have
which
a common
is
source.
Probably in Zoroastrianism.
But I thought where he was going with that was that he was going to say that, and the source is Blurb, which is what this prophet is a part of. And this prophet is the prophet of the one true religion, who actually can come back from the dead because they're so old for whatever reason.
That's what I thought. Where he was going and I was going to be like, yes,
that the truth behind all of our original myths that explain ourselves to ourselves is because there was actually somebody who straddled the line between life and death, God and man.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where they were going with it. And then, no, it's just, I control you. And
no shit.
And his plan is so fucking complicated. He had to know that both of them were going to come and that they both had the personalities that they had.
Yeah.
He had to know that Elder was going to show up at that exact time.
Yeah.
For him to have...
way too many moving parts.
But he would also have had to know...
He'd made an appointment. There's going to be a record.
But no, never mind how he was going to get away with it. Just his plan for getting Paxton down there in the end.
Yeah.
Into that room with all the other prophets and ladies or whatever. Is get the two girls to come over. Know that Paxton is going to be the kind of weaker-willed one and less challenging one. Take them through the whole house thing. Killing Barnes has to be part of his plan.
Yeah.
Which means the whole simulation theory thing has to be part of his plan because
that's how does he know to cut the hormonal implant out of her?
He sees her scratching it at one point.
Yeah, but that could have been anything.
Yeah, and I think he's smart enough to cop that because also she came to the religion a little bit later. Maybe it was only in the last year or two, and she might have had premarital sex before becoming a Mormon, and that's why she has the implant. But if the whole point is to get her down into that room, the only reason she goes down into that room is because she thinks there's been a slip up and calls him on it and says, you switch the bodies. To be able to switch the bodies, there has to be another way in here. She finds the hatch, she goes down.
Yeah.
So his slip up wasn't an actual slip up. That was all part of the plan. How? How did he know that prophet would say the thing that... Yeah. Like, how did he know the prophet was going to go off script in that way? How did he know that they would pick up on it? You know...
What happens to... Like, he lets her out upstairs. She just got off around the house.
Who?
The prophet.
When?
Because he lets her go... He lets her out, like, up out into the actual, like, house.
No, he leads her off into that... You know the way there's
there's the one room on the
There's the one room on the side. He leads her off back there. There's
the
way too many moving parts in his plan for it to go exactly the way it wants to, especially when we're supposed to believe that prophet went off script thing is actually her going off script and not just part of his plan. And it's
too convoluted for
his plan is too convoluted.
Yeah.
And
he keeps having these haha but this moments, and it's like
I don't mind him having those haha but this moments in the intellectual debate.
Yeah, but everything once they go down the stairs is like...
But when it comes to him having, literally planned out, knowing exactly how they're going to react to things, it's like, it's a little bit much.
I'm not going to lie, when he's in the room, you've only ever seen the first episode of Pretty Little Liars.
I have.
But there's a whole big bit later on where they're in like a big dollhouse thing like that, and there's a dollhouse moving them around as they're moving it.
Yeah.
With somebody watching it, and I was just like, this is very Pretty Little Liars. It's about as believable story-wise.
I like the little house model thing that he has going on.
Yeah, like it gave you, but it was about as believable as the storylines from that.
And even the stuff like how the house works and how that plays out, and like certain things about how he's set up, like the scented candle and all that stuff, is fine to a point. It's just that's, again, towards the end, where it's like when you actually think out how each step went. I think getting them to the point where they both go down the stairs see the prophet, fine.
Like, he's charming enough to be a cult leader all by himself.
Yeah, he doesn't
Like, he
need to
could
keep
just
them in
straight up,
cages.
yeah. Come on, he has enough girls there. He could get them recruiting for him.
At the end, when Paxton's like, why do you do this? And he's like, the real question is, why do you all let me do this? No, the real question is why, just because people will let you do something,
to them,
it doesn't make it a motivation for you to want to do it in the first place. You have to have a reason to want to do it.
And
so
also,
what's your fucking reason?
Like,
other than
all the presuming that the conversation went the same way for with all the women and
or similar at least,
or similar where they did feel very threatened. Fawn,
it's just
you play along with the hopes that he will let you go.
I feel like,
and then if he's gotten you in a cage and he's starving them. He's poisoning them to various degrees.
He's keeping them cold and stuff. Yeah, he basically admits, I have to do a bunch of things to keep them compliant. But like, basically, they're choosing to be here.
He's doing all the shit. Yeah, like it's sleep deprivation, food deprivation, like uncomfortable situation. It's dank. Like they're probably suffering from some sort of religious psychosis because they all seem to be people who are of strong faith that he targets.
But they're also
twisting their faith back on themselves and not allowing them. If you don't let somebody like deconstruct like in a controlled and safe way, they spiral.
Well, what he's doing, you said there, is like it's cult
101.
Tactics for control.
Yeah, well, not just cult like CIA.
But, no, but it's not. Yeah, it's not religion's tactics for control. Religion's tactics for control is everything he did to get her into that room.
Yeah.
Well, even just down the stairs. You know what I mean? Convincing her and not realizing that he has been. Yeah,
it's how Scientology gets
keeping all those girls in the cages is not the way religion controls people.
No, it's not.
And it just his whole. Oh, religion's about control.
Yeah, like, no shit, motherfucker.
Fucking shit, buddy. Like, come on. We all know this, right?
Yeah.
Even the people who believe know this. Yes.
And it benefits the man.
Yes. And yeah, why? Like, if
it might be a big reveal to you because you're not female and experience it every single fucking day, even within your own church.
But it's also it rings hollow because he's just using it to like lord it over people.
Yeah, he's using it as justification for his own machinations. He's not even original enough to be like, oh, this is the reason I'm doing this because I believe like.
Well, he tries to make out like that he's doing it to them to show them the truth.
Yeah,
you know, it might make them want to die for. Yeah, no, he's trying to make it to them like it's a big reveal to them, and surely if it was that big of a reveal, you wouldn't just go around being all fucking creepy serial killer dude and keeping girls in your basement. You'd actually be trying to convert and do what they're doing, and you'd become a missionary for your new thing, and you'd be going out there. Yeah, you'd be going out there like fucking Richard Dawson, saying it to everybody that religion is about control.
Sorry, again, South Park.
And if you went out there and said to everybody, religion is about control, you'd get largely the same response that Richard Dawkins gets. Is people who know are going to agree with him, and people who don't are going to be like, no, I believe because it's true.
We have like freedom of religion and the ability to believe in whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I just
practice
very
it
disappointing
safely,
ending.
As long as you're not hurting anybody or anything.
Yeah, like because he even says it earlier when he's talking about stuff being filtered through man.
Yeah.
How do you know it's true? And Paxton says it's because it makes you feel. Or how it makes you feel. You know it's true. And he's like, aha, exactly. It's about your personal connection with God. Yeah, that's what faith is about. Faith is about your personal connection with God. Your problem was with the institutions, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, I have no issue. I'm a full-on atheist. I have no issue with people who have faith.
And like,
believe what you want to believe.
Some of the most religious people I know don't go to mass. They don't need to. They find communion with God in actions, in deeds, in like sitting in their garden and admiring the beauty that God has given them by largely enjoying the light, like the landscape.
What's largely ours and by extension a lot of people's problems with organised religions.
They're hypocrites. They touch kids. They're dickheads.
Just at a macro scale is that they are trying to get don't push your religion on me.
Yeah.
Don't try it. Don't try
and
control me.
Christian nationalism.
Everybody fucking knows it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that people don't like about religions is that you're pushy. You're trying to control people.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking knows it, guy. Everybody knows it. It just really wasn't a revelation to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
And I think the reason it pisses me off so much is because the first half is so good. Even the first 2/3 are so good.
And then they piss it all away.
It's just, once she comes back from the dead,
it's gone.
It all falls apart.
And like, I don't know if it's like a big revelation to people outside of your American audiences.
Largely from what I have gleaned on IMDb reviews, like user reviews, everybody largely agrees with us. Falls apart at the end.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not as deep as it thinks it is.
Just given that Europe is largely more atheist mindset.
Religion
isn't a center point. Like, I do know some people who are incredibly religious, things like that, but it's not like they don't introduce themselves with what religion they are. Like, it's not that much of their identity. Like, it's not to the same. Like, I do admire some of the community aspect of a lot of the American churches, particularly the black churches. I think they're fucking incredible.
I have no problem with people of faith. I generally don't have a problem with individual churches unless they preach hate. You know?
But they are used to control, and the message, like, they have managed to manipulate, because there's no large oversight over particularly the Protestant churches. You get these wackadoodle preachers who are branching off and spouting their interpretations of the Bible and using it to control their followers.
Well,
make them follow their agendas.
In that sense, when religion is about how to live your life in a godly way or whatever, obviously, everything to do with it is about control, because it's how you live in a godly fashion.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of that YouTube channel I've forgotten about with the two girl Undefined, and they were like, how to live your life in a godly fashion and how to have and then they got married and everything changed to like how to have sex in a godly way. And it's really weird and cringy.
They're the ones who married the two obviously gay men.
Yeah, one of them has been to conversion therapy. He has same-sex attraction. It's not the same as being gay because, again, loopholes! Like, the fucking things that they will put themselves, the knots they'll tie themselves in for the justification of their religion. Like, dude, if you like guys, you're gay. Get over it. It's not a big deal. Same-sex attraction. Fucking hell. I have SSA.
But this again, this is the point. This is the point. This is when religion becomes a problem, when it does tell you what to do, as opposed to just tell you how to be spiritually happy with yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not a new revelation.
It's not at all.
Anyway, let's talk about some things we did actually enjoy.
I really liked Hugh Grant in this. I actually did.
Performances were great from all three of them. Particularly, I really enjoyed Paxton.
Yeah, I enjoyed Paxton. Didn't know what to make of the other one, but I couldn't stop looking at her face because it's incredible.
Barnes.
There's something about Barnes' little pouty mouth, and that sounded really creepy. That sounded really fucking creepy, but I'm not. She's just gorgeous, and I was like, I want to look at you all day because you look like a doll. She actually looked like a real life Bratz doll. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Barnes she was alright. Like, nothing against the actress or anything. No. It was just the role was kind of just.
But yeah, Paxton was adorable.
But yeah, no, Paxton was.
When she's outside practicing how she's gonna like say hello.
Yeah,
and it's really sweet.
Stuff.
And you get like Barnes then being like, do you know what? She's so excited. Like, because if I was Barnes in that situation, I'd have been like, fuck this shit, it's pissing rain, we're going home.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh look, she's so excited and I can't burst her bubble.
Yeah, let's get you a convert.
Come on, let's do it, even though it's disgusting outside. And then it very swiftly turned to snow, so whoever decided on that has never been in the UK.
It's not supposed to be in the UK.
Was it not? I thought it was in the UK.
No, it's somewhere in the States.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't remember where. Did none of that look like it was the UK?
I thought it was in the UK, and I was like, that's really funny.
No, that's a big ass, like, fucking mountainous, like, Utah region type thing. That definitely. No, I mean, in fairness, most of the film, make a difference, most of the film takes place in the house. Yeah. Which is one of the things that I do like about it, is how tightly contained it is.
Yeah.
And for the fact that most of it is just conversation.
Yeah.
Even with the fall at the end, it does hold you right the way through, because it's a 2-hour long film.
Like he's very whiplashy.
It gets straight into it as well. There's not much of them wandering around being Mormons at the start. Like, they're at his house within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're in the back room and shit's getting serious within the first half an hour. So I do quite like the pace of it as well. There's some really, really nice shots.
Yeah, I need more long shots of that artwork on the walls. His like montage of different things, of different gods.
Oh, yeah. The bit where Paxton's running through the house at the end.
Yeah.
And you see her in the model. And then she bursts into the room with the model in it.
Yeah.
Really, really liked how that was done as well.
It reminded me of Bunraku.
Yeah. The candle reveal is done really well as well.
Yeah.
Really
there are
tense.
some really nice over-the-shoulder shots and things like that where the camera just kind of goes, ooh. like little peekaboo, which normally for me is my sign to get up and leave, because that is a jump scare and I don't do those.
Yeah.
But like in this one, when she's moved from the table, the prophet, and she's just
right behind
her shoulder, I didn't mind that one so much. Normally I'd be like, nope, out, see it, bye.
One thing I will say actually I really did like about the ending is how much of like a whimpering, scared little coward he becomes at the very end.
I also like the 3 nails to the head.
And the way he's like praying for us. And initially it's like, oh, are you mocking? And it's like, oh no, you actually do want it. Like,
yeah.
And then she has the whole thing about prayers don't work, but I still think it's really nice anyway that we pray for each other.
Yeah.
And he goes and like curls up next to her for a second.
Yeah.
And then has this realization like, no, hang on, wait a second. Wait, hang on, she's beaten me. I can't allow that. And then goes to kill her at the end, which is when you get the wham with the...
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just like that they kind of, at the end,
him
having been so fucking confident and like, aha, I know it all, that when it comes to it and they're both sitting there dying, she's the one who's incredibly peaceful about it, even being like, oh look, it's pointless to pray, but I still am happy to do it.
Yeah.
Because I am happy and like firm in my faith, and you're the one who's over there whimpering. I did like that. Yeah.
Because for all the time he has spent looking at everything, he's never considered what's coming after. And she's at peace.
Yeah. He's been so...
Her belief is so strong that she's in peace, that she is going to be going to a better place.
And
that
he's
comforts her.
Now terrified of it.
Which is what religion should do. It should provide you comfort in times of stress and pain and grief, and allow you like a path as a guidance to navigate those. That's why rabbis are awesome. If you ever get a chance, have a chat with a rabbi.
Did you any considerate religious leader who,
you
know, like there are good religious leaders and there are shithead religious leaders. It's like anything. Anything else that you particularly liked about it? Performances, as I say, were great.
Yeah.
Cinematography was great, but I mean, that's kind of one of the things that A24 is known for.
Yeah,
is
I did
films.
very much like the upstairs and like his study and the warm and this kind of hodgepodge of knickknacks that makes you think that it is like the things they focus in on, like there's a basket of knitting, all these things that lure the girls in and say, yes, a woman lives here. Yeah. Because a man wouldn't have knickknacks like that.
Yeah, no, that's the side of him that's really cleverly created, where there is, a lot of thought gone into it. Yeah, I just can't get past it.
I like how the weirdness of the power cutting off, of it being on a meter. Yeah. To throw them off early on.
Yeah, but also then when other reveals come about the house, you might be more quick to believe them, because you're like,
because you were like straight away, you were like, why have the walls got metal in them?
No, so we're on to silly nitpicks.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, if somebody said to me as I came into their house, oh, the walls and ceilings have metals in them, I hope you don't mind, I'd be like, why?
I'm going back outside.
Not why do they have, like, because there might be a perfectly valid reason, but why do you feel the need to mention it?
Yeah.
And when he would then inevitably respond, oh, because your phones won't work, I'd be like, now I want to know why you have metal in the walls.
I do live in a Faraday cage.
Now, part of the way, I think he says it in such a, like, oh, it's the normal thing, like, I'm just letting you know that they don't. My bigger issue is when they're debating running away. And they're like, oh, we can't cycle because the bikes are locked up. We'd have to walk
like 4 miles. Fuck it, leave!
That's nothing. It's like mortal danger or a 4-mile walk. Mortal danger.
Leave!
4-mile walk.
Run!
Yeah. I've already nitpicked that. My other big nitpicky thing is the just ridiculously
complex nature,
convoluted nature of his plan. It's Lex Luthor and Batman v Superman levels of complicated.
Like,
it's just too complicated.
And there is no way that prophet, because they're all like fucked, basically. They're all like 2 seconds from dying. There's no way she could have moved a dead body. Like, there is a reason why they call it dead weight.
Yeah, no, like, now, I mean, like, pushing her down a hole, maybe.
But she's not, like, directly at the bottom. They didn't just and leave her. Like, they would have had to have dragged her out of the way, because she's down the corridor a little bit. But, like, she wouldn't have been able to do that and then lie down. How do you persuade somebody to do that without huge amounts of, like, psychedelic drugs and, like, severe brainwashing?
He's using methods of control far above and beyond simple religious rules.
Yeah.
Or faith. He's
teetering around MK Ultra fucking vibes at this point.
Yeah, no, he's had to go to far like far above and beyond the levels of control that religion needs to get the same levels of control as religion has.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes his argument ring that a little bit more hollow again. I also feel the fact that he has to fake a miracle is kind of disingenuous. Like, I mean, I know he's cheating anyway, as it were. Like, he's trying to make the point rather than be fair. But like, if you're trying to show somebody like a miracle and make them believe in a miracle, and you obviously fake the miracle, like they're going to be more likely to believe it, than if you just made the argument in the first place alone. And that was just like, that's just a bit dishonest. But he does have a couple of choice lines that I really like.
He does.
When he's trying to find the contraceptive in Barnes' arm, and he's like, "Where is? Got it? Oh no, that's a vein." And then when he's talking to Paxton about the simulation theory, and he's like, "Here's the three of us." Well, Barnes isn't there anymore. Bye Barnes.
Yeah.
Just bye Barnes.
Flippant nature.
But my favourite is when, just around the time he's talking about them being allowed to leave through the doors, and Paxton is like, "Oh, you have a really lovely house, Mr. Reed. Did you build it?" And he just goes, "No, my wife built it."
Yeah.
It's just after the conversation about whether or not they think his wife actually exists.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, my wife built it."
Yeah, she did all of this.
Yeah, no, Hugh Grant is very, very, very good in this. But yeah, just that ending. That ending really spoils it, doesn't it? And I think it's because the early half is so good that the ending is such a letdown.
They could have actually made a very accurate point, but instead they were like, "Oh no, all religion is control," and it was like, yeah, tell us something we don't know.
Yeah, and like I genuinely thought we were going to get a source for
so all them ladies just died down there. Is that the implication?
Oh, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that
she's dead.
She's dead too, because she's hallucinating butterflies.
Yeah.
But I thought we were going to get a source for all religion, but instead what he gave us was the obvious framework for religion. I was
hoping for some sort of Clive Barker, the Madonna.
Yeah, that's where I thought we were going to go to some sort of like really old primordial chthonic supernatural scary religion thing, and not just what we got. And he wasn't even a good cult leader. No, well, I don't think I'd class him as a cult leader.
No,
just a psycho who kidnaps people.
Yeah.
and thinks he knows more about religion than he actually does.
Religious psychosis is it's dangerous as fuck, though. People have done insane shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
crazy.
He's not wrong.
Fucking shit because
he's just obvious.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. He's just obvious.
Like, people have done mad shit because they believe that they're God or are following the words of their God.
Yeah, and in essence, he does effectively believe he's a type of a god in this sense. In his own little world there.
Somebody needs to show him The Sims.
Yes.
And just wreak havoc in there. See all the people you don't like, build a swimming pool, put them all in it, take all the ladders out.
As you said, it ultimately points to kind of one of the things of religions liking to control women, because he doesn't try it with dudes.
No, it's all women.
There's no dudes in there. Even if there was just one guy in there.
But all religions are designed to keep women down, and even the persecution of women throughout history who have been important have been because against the church. When you look at anything to do with witchcraft or anything like that. They're there to control
people.
Yeah.
They just realize that women are smarter than men, so need more controlling.
Yeah. Witch.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Anytime
pre-1950,
lobotomized or burned as a witch.
Yeah, because
I am mouthy.
why do fascists go after the academics? Because they're the ones who are going to be better able to point out the shit you're doing wrong. Why does religion go after women? Yeah, same reason.
Yeah.
Men are stupid, women are smart. Got to control the smart ones first. Stupid ones easier to control.
It's also why in most militaries they're told to, if there's women on the front line, shoot them first.
Well, that's not why. It's just because they're generally more dangerous in that.
Yeah, well, Gaddafi was like, look and meet my ladies.
Yeah, they have that protective instinct.
Yes. I call them the lionesses.
But yeah, we're getting off topic. So
yeah, because he could have done that as well. He could have weaponized his ladies.
He could have done a lot.
He could have done a lot,
but instead he gave us disappointment.
It off the wall.
Well, he didn't. The film did.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, that's probably not what you were expecting. Certainly you weren't waiting 6 months for us to shit all over a film that you really wanted us to review.
No, it did give me theological blue balls, because I was like, yes, give me more, give me this.
We really thought it was going to go somewhere else, and it went somewhere that we thought was disappointing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mr. Floppy.
There were some very, very good performances, and the first half of the film is fucking excellent. But that just makes the fall all that bit more disappointing. So, that was Heretic.
Yes.
It was nice to come back and talk about a film even if it has been the better part of like half a year or more. I don't know. Too long anyway.
Yes.
We'll try and not leave it that long before we come back. But thank you as ever for joining us, guys. In the meantime, if you want, you can head back and listen to all of our other movies on Monorants the Movies, or our other podcasts, Monorants the Boys, and our newest podcast, Death Rants, a Metalocalypse podcast. You can find them in all the usual places, plus also now on YouTube, because I don't think I've mentioned that on At the Movies before.
No.
All of our shit is now on YouTube. But you can come and chat with us on the normal places, on Twitter at rantsmono, on BlueSky at monorants, on Instagram at monorants_the_boys, which I promise I will try and check more regularly from now on in case that happens again. Or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll chat to you all in a while, guys.
Slán,
Bye-bye.
slán.